Hey, Chris from Codify Academy here. In this video, I'm going to walk you through uploading 3 projects to GitHub. I'm going to show you how to view your code when we actually upload it, how to make changes to a project, and make sure it gets uploaded to GitHub. And finally, we're going to learn how to download a project to any computer, and then you can make changes to it and re-upload it to GitHub so you have it for later. So let's just quickly review GitHub. It's just a place to actually store our code, and we're going to use that program that we downloaded earlier, Git, through our terminal to actually upload our projects. And then we can access them anytime from any computer. We have 3 projects that we've already done together, right? We have a code fun project, a template, technically a project, and our logo project. So we're going to load all 3 of those up together through the terminal. First thing we need is we need to open a terminal window. PC, you look up command prompt. And then we need to change directories to our project folder that we want to upload. So our first project upload is going to be, let's do template first. Okay, so we're on our desktop, we need to go into Codify, and then we need to go into a template folder, and then we can push those files. So the first thing is we will say cd desktop, and then if we hit ls or dir if you're on a PC, it's going to list your files for you. And then we just need to change directory again into the Codify folder, list files again, and let's go into our template. If I can spell right. And there we go, list files one more time, and we see index.html, image folder, CSS folder. So these are the files that we want to upload. We're in the project that we want to upload to GitHub, so it'll be there forever. So we need to go to GitHub. And then we're going to create a new repository here. We're going to call it template. I already have one of these, so I'm going to go with template 2. And I'm going to leave the description out for right now. We don't need that. Now here are all of the steps that you need to create a repo. Okay, so we'll talk about all these one at a time as we go along. So bring your terminal back up, or your command prompt, and let's do git init. And we see it says initializing empty repository. That means you've never tried to push this project folder to GitHub before. Now if we do it again, we'll see reinitialize existing repository. That means we've tried to push this project to GitHub before. That simple git init actually creates hidden folders, and I'll show you real quick this hidden.git folder here, which is actually going to track all of the information. So don't do anything with that, just leave that alone. You probably won't even see this, honestly. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add all of our project files. So we're going to say git add period. And this is going to add all of the project files to the staging area, they call it. And this is just before we add it to GitHub. So what we're going to do is we're going to check git status. And this is going to tell us what's going on here. So it's saying we're on this thing called a master branch. So this is just the project folder, basically. We'll learn more about branches later. Don't worry about that right now. Then we have initial commit. That means we're doing our first push to GitHub for this particular project. And then we can see below that we have our actual project files we're going to upload. Great, so the next one is git commit and -m. Don't forget those spaces. It needs to be exactly the same. And then we're going to add a message here. It says first commit, but I'm going to say template folder. So this is a message for yourself for later. And we can see, okay, we're adding these 2 files. A bunch of things have been inserted. And again, if we want, we can say git status. Now at this point, we've added it to GitHub and it's ready to be pushed. Now we just need to tell it where to go. And so here we have git remote add origin. I'm going to copy this because this is a very long line to type out. And we can right click and paste here. We can also use the shortcut, but just in case some terminals don't let you do that. All right, and again, let's check the status. There we go, nothing's changed. So now we just need to push to the origin master. Now it should actually prompt you for your username and password if this is your first time pushing, but if not, that's okay. You should just see writing objects here. Once it's 100%, that means it's complete and we can actually go back to the browser and refresh, and we can see the actual files uploaded. So if we click into our index.html file, we see our code here. This is our template, right? I left my code in here. I have a bad template. Should be empty. That's okay, easy to erase when you change project. And we can go into our CSS folder, see this main.css file. Again, we have nothing in here, so it's just empty. But since it's a file, it actually created it. Now you might be prompted to actually put in your username for GitHub and your password for GitHub. That's why we configured it earlier, so hopefully you don't have to do this. But just in case, you type out your username and hit enter, it'll prompt you for your password. And as you type it out, the keys won't actually be displayed in the terminal, but it will actually recognize your password. Just hit enter. If you make a mistake, just hit the up arrow key, and it'll bring up your last command, hit enter, and then try again with the username and password. If you have to, reset your password to make sure that you have it correct. The next project we'll upload is going to be Code Fun, so we need to tell the computer to go there. Now from our template folder, I need to get out of that folder, because right now I'm inside of here. I need to get out and go into Code Fun. I can say cd ... and hit enter. And that's going to take you up one directory, so now I'm in Codify folder, the big folder here. And then I can cd into Code Fun 1. Now if your folder's not named this, just rename it or just cd to that folder name. And again, we'll list files or dir on a PC to show your directories, right? This is just the files included in a given folder. That's all it is. Looks like magic, right? But we're magicians, right? Not a lot of people know how to do this. All right, cool. So let's move on. Now that we're in the project we want to upload, we need to go back to GitHub and create a new repository. So this one I'm going to call Code Fun. And notice it doesn't have to be the exact same name as the folder that we're about to upload. You can name it whatever you want here. This time we'll write a description, just having fun with code, and create the repository. And again, we can see our steps here. And we have our terminal open and we are in the correct location. Always confirm you're in the right folder. You can see right here, Code Fun 1. And I know because I did ls or dir on a PC and it showed me the files, it listed the directories in this particular folder. So now we're ready. We can start with git init. So this is initializing an empty repository because I've never tried to push it before. And then we're going to do git add period to add all of our project files to the staging area. So I'm going to skip the git status. I'm going to go right to git commit, and I'm going to say first commit. And then again, I don't want to have to type out this crazy long line, git remote add origin. Just paste it in there. Again, we're just telling Git where we want these files to go. And the last one is pushing it to the master. All right, and there we go. It's complete. All right, and so we go to our browser and we refresh our page, and there we go. We have our code stored forever. And here I can see our commit message. Again, we can go and see our HTML. All right, this one was a little bit longer. We can go and see some CSS. All right, cool. So let's do one more project folder because we have logo. So let's create one more repository. We're going to leave a description. This is a website replication. And create repository. All right, again, we have our commands. So now we just need to change directories into the project folder that we need to upload. So from Code Fun 1, we need to go outside of that into week 1 and then into logo. So again, we'll use cd ... That'll take you up one directory. And we could use ls or dir to see the folders again. So if we know that we're going into week 1 and then into logo, we can actually add that into our terminal and say cd week 1 and then / logo. Now again, these are just project folders. So we're going into week 1 and then into logo, and we should end up in here. And that's the folder we want to upload to GitHub. So we hit enter, our directory, we're now in logo, and we can see again, if you do ls or dir, we can see our project files. So let's go back to our GitHub so we can see our terminal commands. We have git init, git add period, git commit with some sort of message. Again, this is up to you what you want it to say. So we can say something like website complete version 1. So really right now it doesn't matter, but in the future you'll understand more. You're basically just telling other developers what you've changed. And then we have git remote add origin. This one I'm typing out. But again, I'm going to copy the URL here. It's also up here. and finally pushing it. So let's go look at our repositories. If we go back to the home page and we click on repositories, we can see our last 3 repositories here, and our descriptions are located here, and it tells you kind of what the technology is that you were using to build this project. So let's make a change to this template folder. So we're going to open up Codify in Atom. So I have some code that I want to get rid of. You might need to actually add some code in to make some changes. The point we're trying to make here is that at some point after you load up your project to GitHub, you're going to make a change and then you're going to have to re-upload it to GitHub so you have the new version stored. That's one of the main points of GitHub, is you can actually track the different types of versions that you've created of a particular program. Makes life a lot easier. Alright, so go ahead and make that change, and then we need to, in our terminal, I'm actually going to close this terminal down, and then we're going to open up a brand new terminal window, and let's look where we are again. We're in our computer hard drive, so we need to change directory to our desktop. And I know I'm going to go into our Codify folder and then into our template folder. So I'm going to add that in. Instead of doing 3 separate change directories, I'm going to tell it the whole file path right now. Go into desktop, then into Codify, then into template. So if we list our directories, we can see all of our files. And we made that change to our index.html. So now that we've made some changes, let's go ahead and upload this new version to GitHub. So we do git add period, and then git commit, and we're going to add our message. We're going to say remove h2 and h3 tags. And there we go. It says we're removing these tags. We have 1 file changed, a couple deletions. Those are referring to lines because I deleted 2 lines. And then we're going to do git push origin master. And that's it. It only takes 3 steps instead of 5 when you've made changes to an existing project to get those changes onto GitHub. So we'll go and we'll refresh. We'll see our updated commit message. If we go and look at our index.html, those h2 and h3 tags are removed. We can look at the commits here, and we can see the different versions. So if I look at the first version, it's going to show me everything I've added, right? I've only added this index.html page, so really not too much. And an empty main.css file. And then if we go to our updated version, we can see the lines that have been removed. Pretty sweet, right? Anytime you make a change to a project and you're done, upload it to GitHub. You want this area right here to look more like, to prove that you're coding, okay? If I went and said to somebody, oh, I've been coding for a long time, and they looked at my GitHub, I basically have no proof. Now, luckily, I'm teaching you, so I don't need to go out and prove to anybody that I can code, because I know I can code. I've been doing this for years. Hopefully, if you come and look at my GitHub now, it's going to be a little nicer. And yours should be looking great. You're going to have to go and prove that you have been coding for the last couple months straight. If you have this proof, it's a lot easier to say this person can code as opposed to somebody looking at mine and saying, well, who really knows, right? Even though I do have a lot of repositories. That doesn't really matter though, okay? The proof is that you code every day. Consistency. They want to see consistency. Make sure this builds up over the next few months. Upload something every single day. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is show you how to actually download a repository. Let's say you're at someone else's house or something and you want to code a little bit. You just need to download Atom and have Google Chrome at the very least, right? So we can go into our template folder, and there's a button here that says clone or download. Now you can download to zip. That's very easy. You can download it. Downloads to your zip file. Pretty sweet. Or if you have Git installed, again, if you're on another computer, you would have to go through that whole process of downloading Git, right? We have that video you can follow. It doesn't take too long, and you've already done it before, so it'll go probably twice as fast. So in our terminal, remember, you got to make sure you know what location you're in, so use ls or dir to make sure that you know where you are. And we're going to actually jump out of this directory. We're going to use cd to jump all the way back to our hard drive. And then we're going to check out where we are. Then we're going to change directory to desktop, then into Codify, and then we're going to download our template. So all we need to do is type git clone and paste. That's it. Git clone paste plus the URL of the particular project you want. Done. Downloads super fast, and we can see here, here's my template too. If you have the project folder already existing, it doesn't work, right? So let's do it again. Git clone, already exists. So it's not going to download for you. This is only if the project doesn't exist. All right, so if I wanted to show you again, I'll delete this real quick. Run that same command again. If you use the up arrow key, it will bring up your last command, and you can cycle through your last command as well. It's pretty helpful. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed creating some of your first repositories, viewing some of that code online, making some changes to your projects and uploading that, and seeing that you can download your projects from anywhere and work on them. It's a pretty sweet tool. Just make sure that you practice this every single day. Even if your project's not complete, just push it. Create a repo, upload it, or if you're working on an existing project, upload those changes.